And I saw on LinkedIn you said that your mission is, and there's two parts to this, was to change the way financial advice is given. So what have you found are what are the issues with the way it's been typically given, like in your experience and what you've seen, and to the majority of people, like a normal person like myself, and how do you do it differently, or what do you see? How do you like to convey your message differently?
Yeah. So I think this became really apparent when I moved out to the UAE. In the UK in London, my role was very advisory. It was adding value, and I came across to the UAE, and it was almost like a sales role here, and it was literally having a very quick chat and then producing something for someone to sign, and let's get the money into a plan without any consideration, without finding out much about the person. So my when I say that, my mission is to change the way things are done, because I think our role whether you're a financial planner or whether you're a wealth manager is to add as much value to a person as possible. So if someone comes to see me, even if I don't, invest any money for them, for example, I want them to feel like they've had some value by coming to see me. So
Okay.
I want to give them as much information as I can to help them, and somehow, better their situation by
Sure.
coming to see me. So
Yeah.
giving them some tips and some ideas to do things. And that's all part of. So, for example, I had a client the other day, as part of their financial review, they had a big mortgage out here. Now, I don't deal with mortgages personally,
Okay.
but what I did advise them to do was to have a look at that mortgage again. It's been years since they set it up. Perhaps they can reduce the amount they're paying into that mortgage to help them in terms of, free up some more money for them. And that's part of their overall financial plan. I didn't have to look at all of
Yeah.
that and the nitty gritty, but I do, because that's just the way I am. So that's my mission, is to kind of help people as much as possible, give ideas and tips.
Give ideas and
Yeah.
tips, and just add, like you said, just add value to. And you think is the biggest issue? Do you think is it that there's a lack of information out there for them, like for the general population, or is it that there is a lot of information but it's not being conveyed in a way that normal people would like understand, like what that means and how it does affect them?
So on the net, there's plenty of information. You
Yeah.
can Google that.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to finances, people like to speak to somebody, whether it's on the phone or personally face to face. And unfortunately, a lot of times in the UAE, when people try and ask someone for help, they don't really get great advice. People just want to see someone. Literally, they just want them to take something from them, buy a plan or take an investment or set up a savings plan. They don't want to give any more information because it's wasting their time or whatever it is. That's the way they see it. Because
Okay.
I don't know. That's the way it is. For me, I don't have that kind of. My way of doing things is very different. I enjoy talking to people, and if I can give some information that'll be helpful, then I'm happy to do that, even if I don't get anything from it. And to be honest, the way I see it is, if you can help someone somehow, as you say, it will come back,
It comes back, yeah.
it doesn't matter. So
Yeah. And you said that this became like this kind of mission of yours became more like prevalent when you came to the UAE. Was it so back in the UK? Was it a little bit different, like how people would handle situations?
yeah. So in the UK, the regulation is high. It's tight regulation there. And you need to be qualified to a very high level to become a wealth manager or a financial planner.
Okay.
Those things at the moment in the UAE are not quite there, and that's
Okay.
probably why that there's different information being given out there. Let's put it that way. So,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's I guess the standards are a little bit different. So someone here could be giving advice, but they don't probably have enough experience to be giving the right kind of advice.
Correct.
Okay, I got you. Do you have any, no names, but is there like a story that you've heard that someone has just gotten some like terrible advice, and like what did they like say?
There's plenty of stories. There's plenty of stories. I mean, I hear all the time where people have been given. I think that the most common really are these regular savings plans where people are just putting money away for the long term, not being explained the real terms and conditions and charges and all of these kind of things behind these plans. And and these things are all key when it comes to these plans. So, I've heard of, unfortunately, a lot of people have lost money on these sort of regular savings plans more than anything else. And what can you do?
I guess live and learn for sure. Okay, that's interesting. So regular saving seems to be the most common problem that people are facing here. And you also said that you wanted it to be introduced at an early age, and I thought that was very interesting because I was thinking about, it made me think about growing up and in both in school and in university. Okay, university is a little bit different. If you entered like the financial field or you entered the economics field like we did, you'll have a bit of an understanding about financial like literacy and money and so on. But for other people who don't, you never really learn about that kind of stuff. So you get into the real world, you have a job, even if you're young, 22, 23, no matter what age you are, and you don't understand how kind of money works. So why do you think that was never been a priority for us growing up in in our institutions that we've been through?
This is a problem that's and I think I still believe it's there. It's something that we should be tackling at a young age, while we're in these institutions, while we're at school, college, whatever. It's just basics of learning to deal with debt as well, and not having debt. I think the era of credit cards came out where it was so easy to just buy things on your credit card and we'll deal with it later type of scenario.
Exactly, yeah.
Which has caused a lot of people, and especially young people as well, to get in huge amounts of debt. But to the contrary also, just saving a small amount at a younger age, something affordable, the earlier you start it, the better it is. And that amount then compounded over the years. And there's various examples where even if the minimum amount per month into some sort of investment will yield you huge amounts in the future. So the sooner they start, or the sooner you start, the better it is. But no one really advises you on that when you're young.
Exactly.
And these two elements, I think, debt and just saving even a small amount, and everybody can do it pretty much. If you've got a job and you're young, you can afford to put a small amount away. And one of my I did a sort of a tip video. One of them was literally set something up that leaves your bank account every month without you actually seeing it, so it's automated. Done. And that way you won't even feel it's come in and it's literally just gone and it's building. But that over some years, that amount that's going into an investment will be it'll be huge, and it's so important. So one of my messages also is really trying to help get that message across into in front of, and getting in front of younger people as well, and explaining these things to them before it's too late.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think you said it perfectly. Before it's too late,